and see the,
We're live now.
Not if we don't have any internet.
shall we rise for the pledge, please, this morning? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good morning, everyone. I just have one opening statement before we get into the minutes. We had an issue with the last meeting. It's very hard for Colleen hearing, I guess, us. And if people have been asked or speaking from the audience. So the board requests that all audience members be respectful to others by not whispering or having conversations during the meeting so that those in attendance can hear what is being discussed by the board and other participants. Sound travels easily with the acoustics in this room, which we all know, all right? And I will keep that handy because we may have to use that statement depending on who's here or whatever. But it's hard for Colleen we all multitask, but there is a limit, all right? We are gonna set out with the minutes of our select board meeting held on May 1st. Do I have a motion to accept those minutes?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
You can pass that down to Travis and he can
Oh,
see.
I'm over here signing away.
Sunny? We'll move into new business, and our first order is the Beaver Dam on Jamestown Road. I assume that's Craig that's?
Craig
And Karen. Then you can fill in? Oh gee, isn't that nice of him? So you and Karen can come up to the table, please, so that we're sure we have it properly on recorded in case, just in case.
Sure.
Fire away.
Okay, well, it's been a few months ago, at least, you brought to my attention a
Large body of water.
phenomenally large beaver dam on a body of water over on Jamestown Road. The concern is, obviously, if that dam fails, it's gonna take out Jamestown and probably head down towards one.
Yeah, there's a catastrophic breach, it's gonna affect Jamestown Road, and it's probably gonna affect 140, so really, we should be a little proactive before we launch channel lines.
I don't know if you were provided a copy, yes. So that is a picture of the dam. Rod did go out to take a couple of pictures of the dam and the culvert. And the intent at this point would be to do basically a controlled breach.
Yeah.
Slowly release some of the water so that one culvert can really help. Right now, it's almost overtopping the dam, so it's.
Because the water level is really high.
Yeah, we've had the 50 and 100-year storms every other day. But I believe you also have included in your packet was a sample temporary access agreement for the 3 surrounding property owners. More than likely, we would only really need to access via one of the properties, but in case the corner of the dam is right kind of on the corner where 2 properties meet, so,
Yep.
and then there's one in the back.
So similar to what you do on Waring Road. Once you get it under control, then you basically
Well, once
continue
we get the letter back from the property owners that we can, they
access.
understand,
Yeah,
and they'll allow access, I will meet with the property owners, find out which is the best way to access, to do the breach. And then once we get the breach, we're gonna have a trapper come in and get owner permission for the trapper, and we're gonna try to do it that way. I think, we'll just see how it goes, and, I think ultimately what we're gonna have to do is somehow eliminate part of that need to take the material away, because they'll
Put it back.
reuse it, so.
They're little devils.
I'm not, we're not doing it until we get owner permission,
Sure.
and we'll work with the owner and the property owner with those.
I did come across there the other day, and not that it hasn't always been there, but it definitely seems to have grown in size.
Well, I've lived on that road for 35 years, it's concerning, so
Okay.
I've never seen it like that.
And you can actually see it from the satellites, you can see it. It is extraordinarily large. I've seen a lot of people dams, and it was surprising, but obviously having the trapper
Yep.
kind of on deck, because as soon as
Oh, as soon as it
they
takes-
sense the water moving, they are going to move in to try to repair
Mhm.
the breach.
Is it fairly flat out there? I mean, I don't know, is this a deep, do you think it's a deep?
It's deeper than it's ever been.
Well, I know that, but I mean,
Significantly higher than it's ever been.
Yeah.
I'd say it's probably 6, 7, 8 feet deep.
yeah.
And just expansive, so the amount of water behind that dam is monumental.
So if you breach that, any of these property owners gonna suffer from the water that comes out of
We're
that?
just gonna do it slowly.
You're gonna do it slowly?
It'll go across Jamestown, and it'll go to the culvert on 140. It'll go where it naturally goes anyway, there's a culvert there, but like I said, it's just not used to getting that much water, so we'll just have to breach it slowly and have a couple guys down at the inlet of the culvert, just to make sure it doesn't get clogged up.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, you're gonna
It's
have to
gonna be
have,
a slow process.
And that would be the intent, so that there is no property damage, to do it incrementally and controlled versus having it, catch.
Let go.
If we had, a really severe storm and that let go.
We used to do it 20 years ago, but I just don't feel comfortable doing it without having property owner's permission. It's just a different world we live in now, so.
Do we assume the liability, obviously, if there is damage from this breach happening?
I know, Alicia sent it through Pridex, which, as part of that access agreement, some of the language in there, I believe it was on page 2, speaks to,
Oh, yeah, I see it now.
We've really tried to dot our i's and cross our t's, and Karen's reached out to Primex, and he's asked, if we should get legal advice, and we're pretty much all set, so.
And we do have it in the easement, restoration, to be at our expense if there's any damage.
Okay.
And we do have, indemnification insurance and protection all of this. And the temporary access agreement has been, vetted by Primex as far as our contract and our legalness.
if it's coming onto people's property, I would think they would be thankful that it's being breached slowly. Yeah, I know, yes, I would think,
I also did provide you with the RSA that does allow the municipality to do this.
yeah.
So just in case anyone out there says we're not allowed to do this,
Mhm.
I've provided that so you can tell them we do have a RSA that allows us to.
I just think of the bugs, mosquitoes and stuff that must just
well, the
love it out
breeding
there.
program is, our mosquito breeding program, top notch.
Yeah, really, love it. All right, so we need a motion. Any other questions first off from any board members? No, all right, so we need a motion, please.
I'll make the motion to move forward with the safe removal and/or periodical breach of the Beaver Dam that poses a threat to Jamestown Road.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Thank you, guys. Yep, yep. Conservation Commission. We have a full member somewhere.
Full member reappointment of Ed Stevenson. And his term will expire in 2027.
All right. Do I have a motion to accept that?
I'll make the motion to reappoint Ed Stevenson to the Conservation Commission.
I'll second it.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. And now we have Old Home Day donation acceptance.
Yes, I was advised that the Belmont Rotary has donated to the Belmont Old Home Day $1,500, and I had spoken with Danielle as to, the best use of the donation, and we had kind of agreed as more as for sponsorship
they?
Danielle and Greta are the overseer, the treasurers.
And I think, again, it's important that we recognize the fact that this is not coming out of our budget, because our budget failed. This is monies coming in outside, specifically geared towards Old Home Day, correct? And I think, Travis, am I incorrect by that there was a Republican meeting this week? Was it this week or last week?
The committee meeting?
Committee meeting?
It was last week, yeah.
It was last week, and Old Home Day was discussed. I've heard it from two different people that we, as the select board, were kind of thrown under the bus because
wasn't there last
we
week.
accepted the allowing the parade to take place. And I just want it made perfectly clear. I think obviously, we've been on this board for different periods of time, but I think that it's important that people understand that this board has always been very proactive whenever anybody came to us to do anything volunteer-wise for our community. And I think it's kind of a slap in the face that that was even discussed at that meeting, because we have a lot of people that have come forward as volunteers, and I think it's important that we all support those volunteers and not do it negatively. And you
Yeah.
can.
I wasn't there last week, so I don't know.
Well, it would be nice that that get relayed back to them, that, as far as I'm concerned, why were we being thrown under the bus? All right? Do we need a motion to accept this donation
I do,
acceptance?
it's out of order, it's motion number 4 on your list.
All right. Would someone like to make that motion?
I'll make the motion to accept a donation of amount of $1,500 from the Belmont Rotary Club for the purpose to fund the Old Home Day Fun Run and the Rockwell activity. PER RSA 3195.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Somehow we should get this in the newspaper and thank the Rotary Club, and you might find some more donations coming.
We're actually very close to just about everything being sponsored already from a lot of
But we should
and we
publicly
haven't
put
needed
it,
a big
let them know where this is coming from.
You can do a press release to thank all those that did donate.
Okay.
once
I
it's
think
all
the more that we get out there, the better. Craig?
I think I should say that we also designated funds to sponsor 10 kids for the Got One equipment.
Yes. Yes.
And then I think Danielle is also going to do a page in the Old Home Day booklet to thank all the donors as well.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you. Do we have any other new business?
No.
Okay. We'll move on to old business. Our old business is our gravel pack well number 4 award. Craig, do you want to speak on that again?
Sure.
Please.
So the bid went out, we had 3 bidders, very Miller Wells came in at the lowest bid. I think the lowest bid was
87,505.
87,505, and significantly lower than the other 2 bids, so I recommend that we.
And he's very familiar with our system, that's my
100%.
understanding.
He's done, he knows the ins and outs of the wells, he's been maintaining them, he's familiar with the issues that we've had with well 1 since 1940, and he's very knowledgeable, so.
Okay, all right.
And this is just a dig.
This is just to put the well.
There
Yeah.
still will be more.
Yeah,
parts
there's
of
gonna
the-
be more,
to come.
there's gonna be electrical work that's gonna be done, there's gonna be.
Testing, huge amount of
Yeah,
testing.
you need to do flow tests, you can get your pump correct and all that kind of stuff, so this is just the initial, this is just gonna be put the well in the ground.
All right. And these funds are coming from,
Our fund.
American Rescue.
right, and is that going to cover the electrical, the testing, it should, we
The
have,
bid came in at such a good price, I feel a lot more confident than I did 6 months ago when we were talking about estimates from, our hydrogeologists and stuff like that. They thought it was gonna be more expensive, so I'm I'm very pleased with the bid, so.
All right,
We should have enough funds to,
in the arbor money.
complete the project.
Right, because we had set that aside, and we had initially set that aside a couple of years ago, maybe?
When we first were awarded it, we set it aside for the police department.
For the cameras.
And then we set aside 500 for this project. So,
All right.
talking with Underwood and their estimate of what this will cost, I believe will come under budget.
Good, awesome, all right.
Yeah.
So we just need a motion for that. Does someone want to make that motion?
Make the motion, we award the gravel patch well number 4 installation to the lowest bidder per Underwood Engineering's recommendation to Barry Miller's Well and Pump Services Incorporated in the amount not to exceed $87,505, with funds to come from the ARPA funds previously designated.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Did we get a second on that?
Yeah,
Oh, he
Travis did.
did. Oh, I didn't hear him.
He was.
I said it quietly, sorry.
Speak up,
Whispered, yeah.
speak up. Okay, mill drainage issue, you're gonna stay right there.
Yes.
Okay.
So at our last meeting, or a few meetings ago, you had asked Patrick to look into the flooding issue that had occurred in our public, welfare general assistance office. And then at our last meeting, one of the board members had indicated that they would like DPW and Craig and his crew to see what they could do on the project. So I'm talking with Craig and figuring that if you're wanting him and his staff to be a part of it, I think it would only make sense to maybe make Craig be the lead on the project now instead of Patrick, just because if it's gonna be his crew, his time, he's, kind of the construction guy, so I would
Aye.
my recommendation is that he works with the contractors to see what he could lend.
Well, and I would hope that, obviously, he has enough connections with, the contractors that we can,
Yeah, I'm gonna do some research, and I'm gonna find out exactly what's going on, and in a couple of weeks, I'll let you know what I find.
And we can still use the bids that Patrick has already gotten. I've already gotten the first bid and, add that to the pile of
Okay.
bids and recommendations as well.
There's 2 additional bids coming in the first week of June.
Awesome.
That I'll pass on.
okay, awesome, good, all right. Other old business.
An update on.
Thank you, Craig.
An update on the Walker property. So after our discussion, having stated that per the court order, he had May 1st, which was our last meeting, to clean up the property, and he had not. So I had called legal after, and so they encourage us to reach out to the vendors who do this type of cleanup. They suggest that we do an inventory either by Glenn, our code enforcement officer, and or the vendors, and get that in writing so that we know we have an inventory of what's on the property that needs to be removed, per the junk ordinance and, or junkyard ordinance. They also suggest that we get quotes first on each project, then determine how we wanna move forward, because it could be very costly. They suggest that we try to work with the Walkers on a schedule to get rid of the junkyard issues. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think he's going to wanna work with us. He didn't want to in the past when we tried to do this already.
But as long as we make that attempt and we have it in writing.
Yeah. He still may refuse entry. If so, we go back to court and say he's interfering with a court order, but he does still have the right to say, get off my property.
Mhm.
And so we have to get legal to jump in and
Spend more
force
money.
another court order.
Mhm.
They also wanted me to kind of put it out there that value has no determinative junk. So just because this copper has value, it's still considered junk. So when he or someone tries to say, well, this has value and I need to keep it, well, that doesn't matter in the eyes of the law.
In the scheme of
In the
things.
scheme of things.
Mhm.
Same with the metal, regardless of value, debris is debris, junk is junk. And any money that we recover knocks down the cost of the cleanup and the attachment. And one thing to remember is that we can't charge him for town time, because we're already paying these employees to be here Monday through Friday, 7:30 to 4, whatever those hours, so we can't recoup my time, DPW's time, your time, etc.
But would it behoove us to at least keep track of the amount of time that,
Well, it seems to me, if I'm listening to you, we don't have any say at all. We got a court order that isn't worth the paper it's written on. And we got a polluted site, obviously, if you let a car sit there for 20 years and had oil in the oil pan and the tires are all flat and the oil pan's sitting on the ground, chances are it's rusted out. When you move that car, you're gonna have a puddle of oil or some gasoline or some antifreeze. So the cleanup could involve digging the dirt out and have it reclaimed, have it burned. This could be $1 million. So now we've got a right to do something but nothing. That's where I see where we are right now.
You assess how much money you wanna put into it,
Well, it's not anything that's gonna happen overnight, that's for sure.
so. And then he did recommend that we obviously give him 24 to 48 hours notice that we're gonna come on the property, so that it's not a shock, and that we can show we were making good efforts, that, you know, we're trying to be respectful and making an attempt to work with him, not against him. That's what legal has to say.
Well, I guess we go ahead with our code enforcement officer, start with him, to do what they call a cruise of the property, so we need to get him a court order that he has a right to do that.
Well, I would assume,
We already have the court order for him to do it, but if we show up and he still kicks us out, then we've gotta go back to court and say he's interfering with an already approved court order, and I don't know if Chief, you wanna weigh in on, but that's.
well, didn't we already talk about the fact that we wouldn't send anyone over there without a, police officer, just as a, I guess, protection?
Precautionary period,
I thought that was more protection for John.
Oh, is that what it was?
I wanna be the guy.
For John, well, whatever.
Kind of based on that, we wouldn't actually enter the property with the code enforcement officer, they would go, because we don't have a legal right to be on the property. at
Okay.
that point. So, if something were to happen, we would be there. You're right, that we take the second court order, and that court order would mandate that it will happen, and it will happen on this date.
Okay, all right.
Then we should get the court order prior.
I don't think you can get it prior, I think you can't.
You gotta get
Do
the
it if he
denial
kicks you
first.
out. He has to
The
kick you
denial
out
has to
first.
come first, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
then you move forward with that.
Then you go forward, yeah. So basically, in hindsight, the sooner the better that he makes that attempt,
It would be, because it can take,
because it'll take,
weeks to get through the courts.
you're exactly right, then we'll be sitting here waiting. So I think the sooner, unfortunately, Karen, the sooner he makes that attempt, the better, because, you know, summer goes by fast.
Well, that's it, if you're gonna make any movement on the property and do anything as far as corrective measures, you're gonna wanna do it before the ground freezes. and
Of course,
snows.
yeah, or at least,
Otherwise, you're not gonna see anything
Right.
of what you need
Right.
to be seeing.
yeah, so,
I can have Glenn put it on his schedule. We have done just a hang tag post notice that we're coming, and to date, he has not refused anything.
okay, all right, all right,
To date.
So-
I mean,
I know, yeah,
just like the weather, it could change any minute.
you're exactly right, especially,
I'm surprised, he hasn't crushed it out for his own pocket and recovered the
I think
money.
he's adding more stuff to it.
I don't understand why he just doesn't take that where he's gonna lose it. He can recoup the money this way by just having a crusher come in and take all that metal out of it. It just, it's not making sense.
No. The whole site doesn't make
Well,
sense.
out back where the trees are going through the cars, the crushing company doesn't want anything to do with it. Plus, now, in fact, I went down to see the Gilberts, because they've been crushing cars for the last month and a half since the road ban was off. And the crushing companies won't take any of that iron until all the fluids are drained out of them.
Oh, and I did.
You just
Well,
don't
by
pick
now,
them
it's
up and
probably
crush them.
already done, so.
Well, it may be, but they have to be, that's why they put if you go down where they crush them, they put a big cement pad in with a lift, and even the thing doesn't run, they get it on the lift, get up in the air, and they drain the oil, the antifreeze, the transmission fluid, and then they crush them. They do
Find it
that,
hard to believe
they
if
do
the
that on a
tree-
year-round basis.
I find it hard to believe if a tree's growing up through it, that there's
Oh, yeah.
anything left in it for.
It's not the only place that's happened.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right, so okay. Any other old business?
I just have one more.
All right.
I just wanted to update you, our banking account at PDIP, where we had, a year or so ago, had moved in, you know, most of our operating money to kind of gain interest. This year I had planned to earn about $100,000 in interest, and I'm happy to report that as of yesterday, we have already $77,000 in interest. So
All
that
right.
account is doing
And what's happening with that whole little issue, do we know?
It had gone to the finance committee, and then it went to a study, or a work session, I haven't read all of it, but I believe that there was amendments to it, which from the talk on the listserv, it didn't seem like it actually was, didn't do much, but I still think it's moving forward. I just don't know the whole
Yeah, story
story
yet.
of the whole final amendments, and then, Travis, did you happen to hear anything?
No, I'm gonna talk to Tim Lang, Howard Pearl, and Gray, Senator Gray, for Belknap County, and see if they can at least try and push a study committee on it, so it pushes it back for another 2 years. But,
Like I said, I mean, 77 and then the first.
It makes no sense to me that that the state would eliminate something that the towns that are participating in it are receiving a nice little, feedback from the interest.
Well, even like when we were there, the state has their own money in there too, so it's like you're,
Yeah, that's.
Cutting off their nose to spite their face, I guess.
cause you're looking at it rationally, they look at a title that says keep money in New Hampshire, and that's all they care about. They don't care about the impact it's gonna have on the municipalities.
No, I guess not.
and the taxpayers, I mean.
Yep, such is life. All right.
And then we also had moved the sewer account, cause that was in Northway, gaining very little to no interest, and that has about 600,000 in there, and that so far has gained about 8,500 in interest. So we're doing very well on those interests.
And there's another good example, if we get, well, we know it's whenever we get hit with that sewer line, obviously the state doesn't wanna hear our crying about it. That's that much more money that we have to go towards that, so.
And then,
yeah.
once the first issue tax bills go out, we'll move a majority of our money like we have, so that it gains more interest, and, I mean, I feel if things are still going the way they are, that will double, if not triple, our interest that I have planned for this year.
Nice, great, all
And
right.
that's all I have, and I do have, not public.
Okay, is there anyone from the public with any comments? No comments this morning? All right. Our next meeting is slated for June 5th, and we're going to move into non-public, 91-A:3, Roman numeral 2, letter B and C. Could I have a roll call, please?
So moved. Someone second.